welcome back to my channel. This intro is going to be a little fast because this is going to be a rather long video. I'm keeping my promise. In today's video I'm going to be following a professional makeup artist tutorial. So yeah, like I said, I want to learn the skills and like the techniques of makeup artists, like professional makeup artists, like MUAs and stuff. So this is going to be today's video. Hopefully it's in one video. It may be in two parts because this video is rather long. The person that I am following today, Paris Williams, I think that's what it's cut off, but that's whose video I'm going to be following. So let's get right into it.
This is Lake Cream Concentrate. I always start my makeup off with a moisturizer. It's so important that your client's skin is very hydrated, no matter if they have oily skin, dry skin. You always want to hydrate their skin. I'm using a Real Techniques brush that is really just painting it into the skin, and I'm moving the skin, the forehead upward, the under eye and cheeks backwards, the chin wherever, and then the nose. But I'm just really working this moisturizer in before I go in with my primer. And yeah, pretty basic moisturizer. Just make sure you use it. So this is my MAC strobe cream, and what this is going to do is really illuminate the skin and highlight and hydrate everything again. I purposely used a client's skin who wasn't perfect. Most people for their makeup class use the most beautiful skin, the most untextured skin. My client has really textured skin. It's really dry. Her eyebrows are really dry. So I'm just making sure to bring some highlight to her skin because it was really dull and dry. So strobe cream helps me with that a lot. It just helps the foundation to naturally glow. So right here, I'm just trying to figure out which foundation to use, and I decided to mix. She does like the tanner look, but I also still stuck very close to her foundation color. And right here you can just see me testing out the two colors and deciding which one to use, and like I did end up mixing them. So now I'm just painting it on her face with that same brush that I used for my makeup. So now I'm taking my brush from Real Techniques, and this is my favorite foundation brush. It's like a stippling foundation brush, but it's also still like a buffing brush. So I'm just pushing that into the skin. It's so important not to drag it down, and just like, I see people just moving the products all away. Literally just buff this into the skin and make sure you're staying in place when you're buffing it, but also moving. Do not slide this across the face because it can really just give you a very nasty look and not a solid foundation. This is so important. And also watch as I do avoid her under eye so that when I do concealer, it doesn't crease, because you don't want a lot of product. Why is she looking at me like that? So this is a concealer. I am using, what's that? Graftobian. Yes, Graftobian. So what was happening with my big warm palette, which is the one I usually use, is there's a row in there that I use so often. So I decided to start to just buy the row, and I will give the name of that product to my photographer because I'm blanking right now. But I want to say that it's warm number 2. And I'm just going in and I'm highlighting beside the nose, down the nose, the forehead, lifting the eyes, and the chin. And the chin, you always want to go in with a little bit of product, not too much, because you don't want your face to look wider down here. You want it to look slim. And I think we all been getting carried away with the chin. I knew drinking my wine, these little nets would be coming. So now I'm just pushing this product into my client's skin with the Beauty Blender. And you know what? She shouldn't have came with no eyelash extensions, but she did. So I'm really showing y'all how to do it on a client that's not your typical model client, but just a client that you just want to make look beautiful. Any type of skin, any type of lash, any type of brow. Her brows aren't groomed, her lashes aren't done. Well, they are done, but I wish they weren't. You know, like, this is not your typical client, but it's still gonna look flawless. So this is my cream blush from Sienna. I want to say this is the number 2, but don't quote me on that. And I'm just taking the color from there and putting it on her cheeks, and then I'm going to go ahead and bounce that out with my Beauty Blender as well. And notice I'm putting it in more areas than just the cheek because I kind of just want to spread this brightness everywhere. And I'm just buffing that with the bottom of the Beauty Blender in an angle that will be right above her contour, but right below her highlight. It's like ice cream, Napoleon. Is it called Napoleon ice cream? So this is the palette that I was talking about, and you can see that missing row. So what I used earlier for her concealer is just basically a bigger size of that missing row because I used that row so much. Now I'm going in with bronzer from that warm palette, and I'm just warming up her face. And as you can see, this client skin is very textured, but the makeup still is going to look flawless. Okay, so now I'm going down the bridge of her nose so I can just slim it down a little bit. Yes, we just get her together.
Oh, I put too much.
So I'm taking I don't know what kind of brush this is. Sometimes I use it for powder, sometimes I use it to blend out contour. It's like a fluffy, I don't really know brush types for real, y'all. But it's a nice brush. It's like a circular setting brush. It's kind of like a setting brush. Actually, it's just like this brush that I use for my under eye powder, but it's a little bit more stiff. It's from Morphe. And I will get the numbers of these brushes and let y'all know so y'all can know the exact brushes that I'm using. This looks so good. And notice that the tip of the brush is pointing upward because I want to blend that up and not down. You always want your brush to point where you're blending, and I'm just moving up and down. I'm not just I'm moving it up and down so that it can move in the proper way. And I'm keeping that brush head upward at all times. Now I'm just going back in with a little bit more concealer because I want her to be bright. I want to give her that really, really bright look. And I did not need that much, but it's okay. I really didn't need that much. Once you watch in the back, you'll be like, Jesus Christ. So now I'm just taking a fluffy brush and just blending that out. Depending on the shape of someone's nose, you really want to watch what kind of brush you use. Because she has quite a lot of space for me to use a fluffy brush, it was okay. But if it was a smaller nose or a nose like mine, you want to make sure you use a more concentrated nose. Her nose comes out more, so a fluffy brush was okay.
I feel like I'm concentrating right now. Like, I feel like I'm like really focused.
So now I'm going in and blending out this brighter concealer. So here, this is really, you know what, this is so important to my routine. I take my banana powder and my RCMA and I mix it together with the end of a brush. And I always, well, I don't always, but.
Okay. I do not have banana powder, so I cannot do that. But I have my powder, I have my napkin, and, oh, I also don't have the tool that she's using, I have this. So I'm putting it on that napkin and I'm just, as she's doing, pressing it.
Now, to make my makeup look softer and more flawless, I use a powder puff, a really thick powder puff, and I just take that powder puff and I dot it on the napkin, and then I tap the excess off, and that napkin really keeps you from just piling up the powder. Because sometimes when we put powder on, we just put it on so heavily. You see how one side went on light and one side went on heavy? I did not bounce that enough on that napkin, but it's still gonna be flawless because with the powder, it just doesn't go on so directly as it would if you put it on with the triangle or a beauty blender or any of that. But yeah, this gonna look good. This gonna look good. Powder puffs are the way when it comes to setting powder. And the reason that I use that yellow and that white is because she's of a lighter complexion, but I still wanted to warm her skin up. This is the Brow Wiz in dark brown. So I'm just taking the spoolie at the end and I'm brushing her brows upward and just in the direction that I want them to go. Notice her brows are not groomed. This will be majority of your clients. Their brows will not be groomed. If you're an esthetician, or however you say that, you can go ahead and groom their brows, but I am not, so I just do not bother. I always work with what I have. So we're gonna do a thicker brow because she has hair everywhere, you know? But it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be cute.
I guess. Okay.
Like, this is the most important part, and that's carving it. I'm taking a flat brush and carving out her brows. This part really depends on the eye structure. I don't take a flat brush with every eye, but the way that her eye is made, I think that it was important for me to use one, and also because she has a lot of extra hair, so I wanted to make sure I concealed that hair a lot. Sometimes I will use a concealer brush, but it just was not necessary with her eye shape. I thought that a straighter brush would be more perfect. Now I'm going back in and fixing all of those strokes, all of those places where I went too far with the concealer, and then I'm gonna do the top brow. Sometimes I do wait until I do the under eye of the other one to do the top, but I got real cocky with it and I just went ahead and did it.
I should have used this one. I don't know why I didn't, but let's see.
But the most important thing with brows is just to start at the bottom, connect to the top, go to the top, connect to the top, and then just bring it all down. Like, that's the most important. You always want to blend in the top and the bottom after.
I see a difference. I just don't know if I like it. But it does look professional, I must say. It's giving professional. Stop. Okay, let's see what's next.
Yeah, like, that's the most important. You always want to blend in the top and the bottom after you do the concealer. I see people like,
oh, God, it's giving ghosts. Hold up, I need to fix this. Hold up. Okay. I went ahead and added more contour to it. So I went ahead and added more contour to it, and it's still giving ghosts, but we'll fix it. Let's see.
so now I'm going in with bronzer very softly. I'm taking an angled brush, an angled fluffy brush, and I'm just dusting off where I put the contour very lightly, going up and down her cheek to create a contour, pulling it down, just making it look very pretty. This is the most interesting part of the makeup look, because if you're not confident with all the setting powder and messiness on the face, you will not make it through the look. But it's just so important that you go and touch up everything that you use cream on with the powder, so that it can blend, so that it can stay and just look really soft and even. So important. So now I'm going in with the blush. She's blushing. I'm going in with the blush, and I'm just setting that. Right now, I'm just taking my first color on a fluffy brush and putting that all over the brow bone. I'm coming down a little bit further than the concealer, so that can be my highlight color, and just bringing this light, soft, pink, nudie tone right up under the brow bone and carving out the eye, okay? And I'm doing the same thing to the other side. Pretty. Now I'm taking my second color and just popping that right on top of that color a little bit further below to create some depth. You know, we love depth. And this is I think it's a Morphe M453, but I be making stuff up, so don't quote me. I really do be making stuff up. I'm gonna tell y'all what brushes I use, I swear. So joint hands is a little bit darker than the one I used before. And I'm putting that into the crease and just blending that around and creating even more depth. And I'm blending that into the color above. Oh, this looks so good.
This is what I'm saying. I need to work on my eyeshadow skills, because this ain't looking like nothing to me. It looks like I'm just blending a bunch of stuff together. It does not look like anything to me. That's why I prefer graphic liners.
So now I'm taking one more dark color and I'm just putting that on. So now I'm taking joint hands and fuzz something or whatever that was called, and I'm mixing them together and creating a little bit more depth right below the crease and mixing that into the crease color. Then I'm taking my flat brush and taking this gold color And I'm just really just swiping that like that Beauty Supply eyeshadow swipe we used to do, just swiping that across the eye. Real pretty. I think the trick to making shimmers look so bold is really to just swipe it, like not really push it. Pushing the colors makes a big mess. You got all that fallout, but to just use your product and swipe it across, use all of it. Use all that you have and swipe all of that so you don't got stuff just falling out everywhere. And I think that really has changed the game for my shimmers. It's just swiping it. I think we're so afraid and we think we gotta pack everything in. Don't pack in shimmers, swipe it. Swiper, we swipe it. So at the end I am packing I'm packing in a darker color just to give it a little bit more depth at the end. I didn't want to fill the lid with that color. I wanted it to be more of a, I don't know what kind of look it's called, but a look. I'm holding down her lashes and using my L'Oreal, I want to say L'Oreal black wing liner. I love this liner. I have not found a liner that I like the brush, but this one. I used MAC on myself today, but I don't like the pencil. That's why I have these inner corners. I just go too far with it. So I'm using my concealer brush, the same one that I used under the brows, and just carving out any imperfections with the liner. I might have went a little bit too far. So I'm just cleaning that up, and I always take my MAC press powder. It came up before I said it before it even came up, and I clean that up and fix that. So for this, I'm taking this is my favorite brush in the world. Keep It On Me, Keep It On Me. It's a contour brush from Real Techniques, but I use it to highlight and contour. If you ever wonder what products I keep in my purse, it's my MAC Studio Fix Plus that I'm using here in this concealer. So what I use is I take this to set my powder and clean it up, but anytime like I'm outside the club and I get oily, I just dip this in here and I clean this up, and it just looks flawless, airbrushed, okay? Okay, so I'm taking my Inglass 77, the OG. Before I put that on my brush, you know it's kind of movie, so I let it get a little bit hardened a little bit. I'm taking this color and putting it under her eye to give the under eye some depth and just smoke out that black, because I'm about to put black in there. Sometimes I put the black first, but for this particular look, I want to take the black and put it second. I'm just letting it dry down a little bit. And then I'm taking this brown on a more structured flat brush. It's a shadow brush, and I'm putting it right under there. It's like a darker brown. And then I'm gonna pop that black up in her line.
I have my lashes on. Notice I put the big ones on because she got big lashes on too. I had to connect it. I skipped because she did mascara and I did all that already. So now she's on to lips, so let's see.
Cool and dramatic. So here I'm taking just a Beauty Supply pencil. And why is she looking like that? I'm taking a Beauty Supply pencil and I'm just lining her lips. Yes, this is the color Miami. And then this is a Morphe shimmer gloss that I'm just adding right on top of that. I do like to mix my glosses. This is it without gloss, that's with gloss on top. So now I'm taking the product I was talking about earlier, my contour brush and my setting powder, and I'm just taking this product off. You always want to press the powder in. See people just like swiping it off with no product. It's so important to me to use a color to take it off. So this is NC42. Same color that I used on her, but mixed with C4 or C5. And you just hit your brush in this and just start to push the product in. Now I'm just adding highlight to the cheeks. I do have my client smile so that I can press it into the top of their cheek. And then I highlight the forehead just a little bit in the chin area. And now I'm covering her eyes to spray her face and set everything. You know what? I used to wonder why I had these little wet bubbles on my eyeshadow. It's because when you spray the face, you have to cover the eyes. And then I'm going back in with that same powder and I'm just pressing it in, and it gives me my final flawless look. And I'm taking my photos for the gram.
Y'all. Okay, this is it. I can't stop looking at myself. What do y'all think? I think there was definitely like a trust the process moments in this. I think it turned out really nice. I'm gonna show you how it looks like in front of natural lighting too. I think it really turned out nice. Like, I think it's different from how I usually do my makeup. It looks different. Like, ooh, it looks so professional. I don't know, am I tweaking? Oh my god, I should put like a comparison picture. This was different. It was super different from how I do my makeup, so I'm sure it does look different. Some things I would change is the amount of product. I would change the shades up because I think I use different shades. That's why I was like trust the process, because at some point I was looking very ghostly. I think the lips don't match with the eyes, but it's kind of cute. What else? I don't like to bake that long, so yeah, but this is super cute. Like, it looks so flawless. If you guys like this video, please give it a like, comment what you'd like to see next. Follow me on all my social media, Instagram angel_halo17, TikTok mass317, and don't forget to help me become a Sephora squad member and click the link below and fill out the testimony. Yes, I really appreciate that. I will see you guys in 2 weeks because I changed it. Bye.